Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
Hey. This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into the we get into a different band, different artist. Every week we get into the music, how it was made, the lyrics, artwork, and everything in between. And we try to have a good time doing it. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. All the social media is at Asinine Radio. So go follow us there. Tell all your friends, share everything. And that's it.
20% of the podcast.
That's all I have. That's all I have for the boring intro. So let's jump into the album of the week. What are we doing this week, Jeff? Go.
We're doing the Buck Owenses and their album, I've Got a Tiger by the Tail.
Buck Owens and his Buckaroos. Yeah, this one. This is I think this is like his 9th or 10th record. Came out recorded in 1964. Record. Is it? No, I thought it was like his 10th.
It was like his 5th record.
Whatever. So yeah, it came out in 1965. Recorded in December 1964. Or came out in 1965. Recorded in December 1964. Yep. Buck Owens. Yeah, he's truly one of the most inspirational, influential, I should say, country artists of all time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You would agree with me on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he developed what is now called the Bakersfield sound, which is everybody's taken from that. You know, that hot sounding guitar, the slide guitar. It's something truly iconic. As honky tonk as his music is, it's iconic. It's very, very influential.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good stuff. So yeah, I mean that's a little bit about like a little synopsis of this guy, Buck Owens and those Buckaroos. So let's get into what am I trying to say here? Let's get into our origin story of Buck Owens, and then we'll get into this album. I've Got a Tiger by the Tail. So what do you got? Go.
I know it's your first time potting, but we usually start with the 6 degrees of Tom DeGlong.
Tom DeGlong. I didn't think we were doing a 6 degrees because we usually do that during the album rankings, but there were no album rankings this week. But if you got one, yeah, let's connect.
I know, like I figured you would have done one. I figured you'd be like, oh, I know, like Jonathan Davis' dad played for Buck Owens keyboard. So I did a different one. I went a different route.
Okay, yeah. What do you got then? Oh, and for anyone listening, this is where we connect our boy Tom DeLonge with the artist of the week. So Tom DeLonge or Buck Owens to Tom DeLonge here. So what do you got?
Tom Brumley, the pedal steel guitarist. Yeah. He's not English in any way. He's from Missouri. But fuck, I think I just erased it.
Wow, that's fun. This is a great episode, dude. We should just start over. Honestly,
that was bad. Oh,
we should just
let's just keep going, baby boy. It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
That's on the no list.
I didn't. So whatever. Tom Brumley did something with somebody.
Oh my God! Just let's move on.
But it was a good one. I had a good one too. It went to the Eagles and it went to Tim Armstrong. It was a good one too.
Hit Command Z on your keyboard.
No, I didn't erase it now. I erased it earlier.
Oh, okay.
No, I got it. Fuck off. I'm looking at it right now. All right, because you can look at the edits on your doc.
Edit.
Virginia Spector. So Tom Brumley, who is a pedal steel guitarist for Buck Owens, he was in a band called Stone Canyon Band with Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner was a founding member of the Eagles, who eventually had and played with Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh had Tim Armstrong on his last album.
What?
Joe Walsh had Tim Armstrong on his last album.
Okay, this is fun.
You said I thought you couldn't hear me. I thought maybe I'd turn my volume up. Joe Walsh had Tim Armstrong on his last album. Tim to Travis, Travis to Tom. That's
wow, that was
right
easy,
there, baby boy.
Yeah, that was really easy.
It was easy.
Now you could even say Tim to Blink because Tim was on the last Blink record.
That is true.
You can even say that, or Tim on the Boxcar record. He's on that one too.
I need 6. And that's 1, 2, 3. That's actually only 5, so it doesn't make any sense either way. Whatever. Moving on.
Who cares? I don't care.
I did my homework.
Let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So what's your origin story with Buck Owens? Go.
I don't remember like exactly what it was, but I know the first song that I've ever heard by Buck Owens was Act Naturally. And I know it came when I was like getting a little bit more into country music, and I was venturing off from like the Alan Jacksons and the Garth Brookses and stuff like that. So I was downloading some stuff off Kazaa for free. Don't care. But Act Naturally is definitely like my earliest memory of Buck Owens, and that is my favorite song by Buck Owens. That is just
really,
that is the fucking bee's knees right there. You cannot beat that song. It is unreal.
It's good, but damn, dude, it's not that good.
It is fucking good. You don't fuck around with that song. It's one of the greatest of all time. It literally is one of the greatest songs of all time.
And this is all because you downloaded it off of Kazaa. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this stems from like my mom listening to. I mean, much like your mom probably listened to a lot of the horrible pop country of the 90s.
Pop country, yeah.
Just awful shit. But like there were some
Shania
good
Twain,
things in there.
Garth
right?
Brooks.
Like there were some good things in there you could piece together. Like I like Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson because I like that riff, that guitar riff, that like that's cool. I'm like, okay, so maybe I can listen to more Alan Jackson. But then I realized Alan Jackson fucking sucks. Everything else he did sucked fucking balls, and I hate it. But where can I go from there? Like, what were some of Alan Jackson's inspirations? And this is before Wikipedia, it was before like we could just Google like what were Alan Jackson's inspirations. So you had to kind of like search forums, like, oh, Alan Jackson took inspiration from this guy, who took inspiration from this guy, who took inspiration from Buck Owens, and that's really where it led to, was doing that kind of research.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. All right. My origin story is my grandpa. Because I don't remember listening to Buck Owens specifically, but my grandpa, he was always working on the house or working in the backyard, and growing up, spending so much time out at my grandparents' house in San Bernardino, I was always around him, and he always had the radio on, like the old country western station, which is at the time was K-Frog out in the Inland Empire, and yeah, dude, they would play Buck Owens, they would play Johnny Cash, they would play like all this like Lawrence Welk, like just a bunch of like shit that nobody listens to nowadays, but a lot of my childhood was based around that country music and just hanging out with my grandpa in the backyard or the front yard, wherever it was. And Buck Owens would always come on because it was just so different. He doesn't sound like any other country artist. His vocals are way too honky tonky. The music itself is like way more just hot sounding. Like that's the best way to put his sound. It's just different. So yeah, I mean, just growing up as a kid, and then it wasn't until like I was an adult and you started bringing up Buck Owens more, like just hanging out, and then you showed me this record, I've Got a Tiger by the Tail, and then it just, I mean, just this record is just incredible. This record's so goddamn good.
Stupid good.
Yeah, stupid. I mean, every song, outside of like one or two songs, every song has its own little flavor to it. You know, every song really stands out from the other, and that's what makes it so fucking rad. And he does the same goddamn thing. It's just how he does it. I don't know. That makes no sense at all. But
no, it does, because we'll get into it. But it does. The guy, like lyrically, vocally, musicianship wise, there's not much to him. There's not much depth to him. But it's about like it's how he utilizes his voice, his playing style, the harms, how he utilizes Dawn, and how he utilizes everybody else in the band. The sequencing of this album, like everything about this fucking album is like meticulous and perfectly placed.
It's true, yeah.
So
very
good.
true. And it not only that, but he just sounds like he's having so much fun, mixed with like the kind of bounciness of a lot of the songs. He has this certain like carefree spirit with his vocals, and I think that's another thing that makes him stand apart from a lot of even like pop country stuff in the 80s and 90s. Like they tried to do this kind of this fun loving kind of style, but it never really, I don't feel like it ever really translated the way that Buck Owens did. Also, Buck Owens had a TV show, you know, for fucking 30 years, you know, like a kid's TV show for 30 years that was wildly successful.
Dude, I'll tell you, man. Like probably in the past like 6 months to a year, I've been getting like Roy Clark. And if you want to talk about a guy that shreds at the fucking guitar in the way that like Yngwie Malmsteen does, you listen to Roy Clark. That guy.
I really have never really listened to his music.
Dude, Roy Clark is one of the greatest shredders that is not talked about at all. That guy shreds at the guitar. It is unreal.
Okay.
He legit should be top 10 guitarists.
Just kind of bring him up out of nowhere.
Because he was on Hee Haw. It was Buck Owens and Roy Clark on Hee Haw.
That's true. It was. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that it was him. I thought it was. I don't know who I thought it was. I don't know who I was thinking. But you're right. Yeah.
Roy Clark, dude, like the guy fucking shreds. And these working at a record store, collecting records now, like we know, these records are worth like $3 at most.
Oh yeah.
You can buy a clean copy of the album of the week for like $3-5, and it's fucking tragic. And yet we're spending, quintuple the amount, 10 times the amount for fucking other bands that are garbage.
For the shitty Limp Bizkit live record that we got.
Oh, dude, $40 for a shitty live Limp Bizkit record, and it's like you cannot give away Buck Owens, and it's just absolutely tragic. Pains me.
I know. So I mean, I have this on vinyl as well, and when I bought it, because I bought it on Discogs for $1, back when we first started collecting, and I even got like it said like the jacket was like poor to good. So I'm like, it's $1. I don't care. I just wanted a bunch of shit from this particular seller. And they actually DM me saying, just to let you know, there's like a chunk missing out of the jacket. I think a dog bit at the corner off of this jacket. I said, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's $1.
Like, are you sure? Yeah, I was like, it's just like but he actually reached out to me and DM me just to let me know that a dog bit a part of the jacket off.
He was scared of that rating. That's how shitty fucking online marketplace is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, on a tangent side note here, listen to like Roy Clark, listen to his live stuff, listen to how fast that motherfucker plays the guitar. And it's crisp, it's clean. He is so good. I
mean, he's just one of those names that you always hear about, but you never go listening. Like it's such a basic name. Really, like James Taylor. Another guy. I don't really care for his music that much
Just
anymore.
take two fucking first names and throw them together. Right? Roy Clark and James Taylor. It's so true. Dude, James Taylor was like the perfect comparison. Just the most fucking generic, boring ass name, dude. Your name is just two first names.
I even listened to the one James Taylor record I have, and I'm gonna purge it. It's like, why do I want this?
Just need the greatest hits.
Not as good It's really not as good as I remember the one record. I don't even remember the fucking name of the record right now.
What do you have? Sweet Baby James, Mudslide Slim, James Taylor, Subtitled, One Man Dog.
It's the one where he's wearing the blue denim. It's like kind of a close up of his face.
That's Mudslide. Yeah. That's Mudslide Slim. Yeah. That's a fucking fantastic album.
Nah, I listened to it. I'll never listen to it again.
Oh.
Purge. Okay. Purge.
It's got Carole King on it. That's all right though.
I don't care. I don't care who has on it. It doesn't have Tom DeLonge. I don't care. Anyway, I've got a Tiger by the Tail. I think we've already kind of gone over our first impressions of this one. We absolutely love this record. We love Buck Owens. So let's. I know we're going to be talking a lot about extracurriculars, the individual band members as we go through this. Do we have any stinkers on this record though?
No, I have no stinkers, and I want to start with Act Naturally, and then I want to get into our least bangers, and then go from there. That's what I want to do.
So Act Naturally. I'll just say this right now. It's bottom tier on this record.
So it's not part of the record. This was never released
part
of the record. But like, it wasn't a live recording. According to this Spotify version, it's a live recording. But this was their first like official foray into the top country music charts. This was like their first big hit was Act Naturally. This was 1962, 1963. So this is their first hit. It is not a live recording. The one on Spotify is a live recording, but the one that was released originally is not a live recording. Have you heard the not live recording of it?
I did not listen to it.
It's pretty much the same, but dude, how do you not like that? How do you not instantly love this song? That's what I want to fucking know.
I mean, it's fine. There's really nothing wrong with it at all, but I think in the context of the record, throwing this at the end, I just didn't really care too much. I really didn't, because I mean, this song and This Old Heart are the two extra songs.
Fuck that song.
yeah, I don't care about that song
But like
really at all.
this song made the Beatles a fan of Buck Owens. Like, dude,
True.
Ringo and Lennon were massive Buck Owens fans. Like, and then the legend has it, they had a standing order that whenever Buck Owens released a record, his label would just automatically send the Beatles a copy of his new record because they loved Buck Owens so much. And you can see the similarities.
So cool.
Like, genre aside,
Yeah.
they're the kind of the fucking same band. Like, they write kind of the same exact pop music.
Well,
the structures are pretty much the fucking same. Genre aside.
I guess so. But it's not like either band was doing, for the most part, they weren't doing anything outside of the pop rock realm.
Not in the early to mid 60s, no.
Or pop realm, yeah. So I mean it's an easy comparison. The Beatles were doing what everybody else was doing.
But nobody did it like the Beatles and nobody did it like Buck Owens because these are so these songs are so fucking catchy.
They are, yeah.
Like, pop music exists in two realms, right? Like, either quote unquote popular music, just what is popular at the time, or pop music as a genre. Just it's catchy, it's melodic. There's not much to it. It's based around melody. That's pop music, the genre, versus like pop music, the concept. And like, no one did it better than like the Beatles in the 60s. Like, that's just fuck off. Maybe the Beach Boys kind of like held their own a little bit, but like, nah, dude, the Beatles, like, they have that. But so did Buck Owens. Like, the dark horse in this race here.
Yeah, that's true.
Every song on here, even the songs that like are my least bangers, are like
They're
the catchiest songs. Like, the fucking catchiest songs.
They are really. I mean, yeah, every song on here, outside of the main songs, are all just incredible. They're really, really incredible. I mean, there are two songs that are like, okay, this is. I don't want to say it's more of the same, but it's just they're good. They're great pop songs, but it's like, okay, you did it better in this song. You did it better in that slow song. But I get it. It's still. I'm not even
done with Act Naturally yet. I don't know why you don't love this song.
Okay.
I love his voice here.
It's a good song.
Again, the first real single to help him get big. Yeah, he didn't like it at first. It was given to him. He's like, nah, dude, I don't like this. It's not for me. But his homie Don was like, nah, dude, this is you right here. This is you right here. He's the one that pushed him to record it. He was the one that pushed him into it. And like, that's that relationship. That's a symbiotic relationship between Don and Buck. Don is the one that essentially made Buck Owens, right? Had it not been for Act Naturally, we don't know if Buck Owens would have blown up. But he did blow up because of Don, because Don pushed him to do this. And this song has such a great swing to it. And the way like the song builds to the key, like the Act Naturally, that last ye part, dude, ye is so pleasant, so great. It's just, oh my God, I fucking love it. Oh, I get goosebumps. I rolled up my sleeves to show you, but you're not here. But you can see the goosebumps.
I can see the goose.
Literally have goosebumps.
Hate that word too. Goose flesh. Oof.
Who says goose flesh?
That's like a Britland thing. They say goose flesh over there.
That makes sense. Everything over there is just fucking ass backwards and ridiculous.
I can't wait to get the message from Skip. You know, I don't know. Never mind.
At 4 in the morning.
He'll bring it up.
He'll
bring it up.
All the odd hours of the day where normal people sleep and the vampires over there in England. Downing pints at the pub.
Oh man.
All right, moving on. We don't
that. Yeah, Act Naturally.
Act Naturally. I don't get it, but that's all right.
Because it's not on the record. It's not on the record. We have more to talk about here.
Okay. Here we go. What's your lowest B's? Let's get those out of the way.
I mean, lowest B's are, like I said, Act Naturally and This Whole Heart, because they don't belong on they're not on the record. They're live songs.
Well, I mean, they're not technically on the record. Yes.
So A Maiden's Prayer, great instrumental. I really do love the song, but it's not really necessary, but it's fun.
That's not what we love about Buck Owens.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a solid instrumental. If You Fall Out of Love With Me is my actual like proper song. Lower tier actual song on the record. Yeah. So where does that one sit for you?
It's my AB.
Okay, so
I love that song so much.
Close to it. I mean, it's just like it's a slower song. If there's gonna be filler,
this is his acoustic emo song. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he did it better on some of the earlier tracks.
He did.
He really did. I mean, and then like I said, it's not to say this is a bad song by any means, but it's just kind of already heard it, Buck. So if anything, it's a filler Buck Owens song on the record. So I don't know. Do you have any?
Okay.
Do you have anything on this one?
I mean, I have a lot of notes on everything, but we can just get.
I mean,
to
what else do you have on this one?
Stuffs. It's a good song.
you-
I like. It's a cute song. It's also very basic. I get it, but I like that you can really hear Buck pull out all the country tricks with his voice, right? The Hank Williams yodel and the Jimmy Rogers even yodel. Like there's a lot of cool things that he's doing with his voice that he doesn't normally do because he's not very good at it. And so it's just kind of like I don't know. He's not a bad singer, but he's not a great singer. He's a very medium singer. Because even like Doyle, right? The Doyle rules. Doyle on here has more range and dynamic than Buck Owens does.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, why is Buck Owens' voice so fucking endearing? Why is it so easily digestible? It's because of songs
he's so
like
happy.
this.
But it's also because he sounds so happy. Like he has a great way of just he just the way he expresses himself is just so, it seems so pure and so honest and so carefree at times. And like, who cares about his range? I mean, it's just the way
it's
the
crazy that
behind it.
like his bass player has like 3 octaves on Buck Owens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's
you heard just on that
insanity.
one song. Just that one song alone.
Crazy. So yeah,
have you ever listened to Doyle's his solo records?
I made it a point to listen to this week, and then I didn't.
I did the same exact thing.
Yeah,
I meant to listen to it, but I did not do it
because I'm too caught up in Buck Owens. And like when Spotify stops playing Buck Owens, it plays things that I think will like similar, and then like it's playing old school stuff that I usually just put in the dollar bins or just like give away, like Johnny Mathis stuff or anything else of that era. It's like, damn, dude, some of these guys have fucking good songs. Good God. So my country playlist is building bigger and bigger. And it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah, those two are kind of my lower B's.
And really, lyrically, this entire record is about heartbreak. You know, getting dumped by a girl or just being head over heels for a girl. It's like one of those two things, and there's really nothing in between.
Very
like
much
that.
of the time. Yeah, very typical.
Very 50s, 60s, type of lyrics. All right, so let's let's get into our top B's. Start from the top. What's your 1B here?
My 1B is the title track, dude. I've got a tiger by the tail.
Hell yeah, that's my 1B. That's my 1B as well.
You don't fuck with it, and like,
you cannot.
Dude, So country songs are a dime a dozen, and still to this day, I think there's so much shit that's playing like Stagecoach that sounds fucking identical to this, just not as endearing. Mm-hmm. But I've never heard a country song start off that stupid, that objectively stupid. That I've got like, what are you doing?
By the tail.
Who told you that would be a good? This is the first time he's done it on record like this too. His other records he did prior to this, he's never done something like that. Who told him that was okay? And like, why did he think that was a good idea? But God, because he did it, it will live on forever as being like
I totally
one
agree.
of the best intros in country music history.
And he does it in every chorus too. Because everything stops.
Everything stops, and it's just
everything
him.
Stops, and then
there's no harms.
I've got and then everybody drops in, like vocally, musically, everybody drops in. Tiger by the tail. I love that chorus.
It's like what hardcore kids, I've got, and then everybody comes in, right? But it's like, it's just him by himself, and it just makes no sense, and it sounds like complete garbage, but it's so endearing. And you gotta love it.
I know, I love it. It's a great, just that one little part is a great thesis statement for the rest of the record. The kind of goofiness, off the wall, carefree, fun feel of the entire record. Just that opening line. Opening line is just, it sets everything in motion on this record. I love it. I fucking love it.
I love
and then
these,
just like, what? I'm sorry, what?
I love these verses though. The verses like really make it for me, because the chorus, you get the harms, everybody's coming in hard, like everyone's this full wall of sound, but the verse is just Buck. And well, I thought the day I met you, you were me against the lamb, and so you get that really kind of like middle ground, that mediocrity there, that middle sound that is just like, dude, your voice is not that great. You sound, and like we were joking about earlier, but he sounds like Goofy at times. Like, hey, yo, how you doing?
Oh, he does, yeah.
He sounds like Goofy.
Very, very goofy, yeah.
But like that's what like brings down those walls, right? You break those like emotional barriers. You get into people's like heartstrings, and you tug at them and you pull at them. And that first verse right after that chorus, and the fact that he starts so many of these songs off with the chorus. It's like half of these songs start off with the fucking chorus. It's right out the gate. Fucking do it. Let's go.
The hooks are so good,
man.
But also with the verses too, you hear a lot of Beatles, just that kind of rock and roll, blues rock, or really just rock and roll feel to it, and that's how the verses go. And then like we said, it stops, drops right back into that hook in the chorus. Just the back and forth, because I mean really, they're just so different. The chorus and verses are so different, just musically, melodically, and the verses are just way more subdued, which generally verses are in songs, but not to this extent. Like this, there's a lot of nuance every step of the way in this one song. So I think it's just incredible. Just absolutely incredible.
The only other band I can really compare like Buck Owens and the Buckaroos to is like the Beatles, because I mean like Buck Owens had several albums prior to the Beatles' first album, but there's so much fucking Buck Owens, I guess, in the Beatles in their heyday before Rubber Soul, right? That early 60s era that is objectively catchy, but like nobody fucking really likes. People pretend they like it, but like nobody fucking likes that shit, dude. Nobody likes Hard Day's Night. Nobody likes fucking Help. Nobody likes Please Please Me. Nobody likes that shit.
Help is actually good though. Help is a good record.
No, it's fucking not a good record.
Yeah.
None of that shit is a good record. It's catchy, it's fun, it's cute, but like fuck that shit, dude. It's kind of interesting because Help is the record that has the cover of Act Naturally on it, which is kind of funny. The one that he did with Ringo Starr.
Oh really? Oh, it does really? I'd never. Okay.
Damn, bro, I'm telling you. It's
You're telling me.
None of that shit. None of that shit is good.
But yeah, I mean,
there's so much Beatles here though.
We've done a lot of Beatles comparisons
because it's insane. Just like how like you throw it across the pond here, and the Beatles are trying so hard to be like this rock and roll. And even Buck Owens covers Memphis, right? The Chuck Berry song. So they're trying to be like this rock and roll, like old.
That's a good cover too.
But like the Chuck Berry one, you don't fuck with that one, so that's why it's a low banger for me.
It's hard to fuck with Chuck Berry, but it's
you don't fuck with Chuck Berry.
It's still a great.
You can't.
Yeah. No.
But like the Beatles are trying to be like this rock and roll thing, but really they're just sounding like Buck Owens, and country music kind of like predates, but also doesn't predate rock and roll music. It's this whole like weird like Americana amalgamation thing coming from like spirituals and folk music, and it's just such a weird time in American history for music, and I love it so much. It's so good.
It is great. So let's move on from I've Got a Tiger by the Tail. Or what do you have lyrically on this one?
I don't know. Supposedly written when Buck and Harlan, the guy that wrote the song, they were writing songs together, and they got writer's block, and Buck supposedly saw an Esso gas station, and it said like put a tiger in your tank, and he got some inspiration there. But it sounds like in the song it's about a meeting someone and later realizing they're way more of a handful than you thought.
Yeah. Come and find out that she's actually wild. That's the way he kind of like describes it. Like she's just wild. She's too wild for me. just it's so stupid.
It is.
You think she's like this quiet, innocent, meek girl, and then she ends up being too wild for him. Oh man, it's so stupid.
But is it like you said earlier? It's a good thesis statement for the record. It has everything we want, right? It's got a catchy chorus. It's got great harms. It shows Buck in the verses by himself, just in a great, flat, kind of monotone way of singing. But it's endearing. It's cute. It gets us. And it's easy to digest.
Yeah, totally.
And then we get my 2B, Trouble in Me. Trouble in Me on a 2B.
Trouble in Me.
Dude, that 1-2 punch, like, fuck off, man. I know. So fucking catchy.
Trouble in Me is my 3B. My 3B.
We're old buddies, you see. And then like you get like Dawn in the back, that just fucking noodling, just Omar noodling in the back. Are you kidding me?
The whole song is so honky tonk sounding. It just has that kind of galloping, like percussive thing going on, just trudging along, and oh my god, dude, his vocals are just so, you can't get any more honky tonk vocally than this song. Trouble in Me. It's like Goofy, like Goofy from Disney. That's what it's like.
He really does sound like Goofy from Disney. So you hear Don like ripping it up on the guitar, and he's so high on that fucking high E string, right? That you're like, dude, there's no more riffs you can even go up on, or there's no more frets you can even fucking go up on, because it's so high. It's like, beep, 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 beep.
Well, I mean, the guitar solo, it's straight, it's surf rock. That guitar solo is surf rock, and then it just drops into that slide, the slide guitar. Oh my god, dude, it's so fucking amazing.
That's the sound, dude. That's this sound. This Bakersfield
the
sound
slide guitar,
and surf rock are essentially the same exact sound. The only difference is reverb. Like that's really the only fucking difference is reverb. Same thing.
Totally right.
And occasionally,
the way they utilize
the minor scales and stuff, but
the way they utilize the slide guitar, Buck Owens did, or the Buckaroos did, was just. It was really over the top. It's always so loud in the mix. It always sounds so hot sounding. It just kind of overtakes the melody a lot of the times. That's really all you're hearing is the slide guitar. And I feel like that's another signature sound of the that's another signature thing of the Bakersfield sound. I'm having a hard time talking today.
That's okay. Signature thing of the Bakersfield sound.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That's okay.
But no, I really do like this one. And I like how he starts like every verse by saying, "Trouble and me, we're old buddies, you see." And then he just kind of he kind of describes a little scenario or a little story, and then he drops into that again. It's very kind of, he sounds kind of like a dunce. Like he's kind of a dumb guy.
He's doofus. Yeah, he's an idiot. It's just like there's just old country boys getting in trouble, right? Yeah. Like Dukes of Hazzard over here. Like, those rascals. So good. I fucking love this song so much.
Yeah, it's really fantastic.
So good. Yeah,
I think the way he laughs too, because he laughs in this song as well, and it just adds to just how silly it really is. And this entire record.
He laughs several times on these.
He does, yeah.
Goofy. Again, like Goofy.
I wonder if... No, because Goofy was around before Buck Owens.
For sure.
But yeah, he really does sound like Goofy.
He does sound like Goofy.
It's so stupid. So dumb. But I don't know. Do we have... I mean, what do you have lyrically? Or what do we have on this song? I mean, like we said, there's not a lot to talk about.
Not a lot to talk about. Mostly kind of like the scene. Mostly kind of like Don Rich. Mostly kind of like... the relationship together. There's a lot of other cool things to talk about, but I don't know. We can keep going through, and then I have notes on other bandmates as we go along and their biggest songs on the record. So I think when we get to Wham Bam, Thank You Man, we can talk about Don and Buck's relationship.
Bam.
Thank you, man. I'll be on my way. I don't give a fuck. You know what's funny, dude? Is like this whole week I've been playing a lot of Buck Owens in the store, vinyl and Spotify. I swear to God, dude, every single person over the age of like over the age of like 35 to 40, so in pretty much our age or older, knows every single one of these songs that I've been playing. He's like, oh, is this Buck? So yeah, dude. All right. Like 40, 50, like 70 people coming in. This guy Glenn comes in all the time. He's an old guy. And we just talked for like 2 hours. He just about like the Bakersfield sound. He just schooled me on all this country music. He's one that told me all about Hee Haw. Like, yeah, I watched Hee Haw growing up. Like, it was fucking great. Like Roy Clark and like all the Ray Cuff, all these other guys. Like, they're great guitarists. You should listen to this. If you like this guy or like this guy. I was like, God damn, this is so good.
All right, so yeah, let's get into Wham Bam. I mean, this is my 6B. You said this is your 2B, right?
No.
Oh.
We just did my 2B, Trouble and Me. Wham Bam, my 7B.
Oh, then why'd you bring it up? Just because
we were talking about like extracurriculars, and I feel like if we're going to talk about Don Rich and Buck's relationship, we should talk about that during Wham Bam because it was sung by Don.
Okay. I mean, let's just do it then. Fuck it. Let's get into it now.
Roll.
So yeah, what do you got? What do you got on this one?
Do you want to go into like the history between the two, like what happened, what eventually happened? Do you want to talk about the song? What do you want to do here?
No, let's get into all that right now. Might as well.
So first of all, it's a good song. It is funny.
No, it's a great song.
It's hilarious. It's a cute song. I think Don Rich does a fantastic job singing this, especially coming off of like the first few tracks, and then let the sad times roll on, and then going into like If You Fall Out of Love with Me. Those are two like kind of ballady songs. So you need a weird kind of quirky, goofy ass song in between the two. And why not have your boy Don like sing a song? Wham bam. It's good. It's cute. And their relationship together was fantastic. Again, I don't think like Buck would have been Buck if it wasn't for Don. Having like Don push you into
Even
recording,
Buck said that.
act naturally, then they would not have happened. And it was tragic, and it was career ending essentially when Don died, and Buck never recovered from it. But it's a very sad little thing.
Yeah, I mean, so Don died in 1974. Dude, he was only he was only 32 years old. He died in a motorcycle accident in like Central California or Northern California.
No skid marks, fucking no mechanical failure.
Went straight into the median, like probably going 80 miles an hour on a motorcycle. Dude, I mean, that's you're dead. Like, I mean, well, he did die, so he was dead. But yeah, it just, what the fuck happened? What happened? It's crazy. I mean, there had to. Well, no, if there's like an animal and he swerved out of the way, there would be skid marks.
Going that fast, there would be skid marks.
Absolutely. And he had to have been going that fast to die.
It had to have been tired. He had to have been tired. He just didn't fucking pay attention. Like that's what I would venture to say. But like legend has it that Buck had been pleading with him for months and years prior to stop writing. And that night he had told them to like, dude, like don't go. I just don't feel good about this. I don't feel you should be going. Just stay here. And he went anyway. And Buck said like it was like my dad died. It was like my son died. And it was like my brother died all at the same time. And he said I never was the same again. And he really wasn't. Like he never wrote like a good song after that. He kind of reached the charts again in the 80s.
Well, he kind of retired after Don died, and then it was the late 80s. He was still playing shows here and there, like locally in Bakersfield, like local he had like not a residency, but he played it every weekend at a particular restaurant. I forget, it was something buffet. I forgot the place, but I guess it's closed.
Romo
now.
Buffet.
I looked it up. Romo Buffet, yeah, it's closed now. Because I was like, oh, dude, we should go there sometime. But yeah, no, he never recovered. I think what he did that song with Alan Jackson or something.
Dwight
Yoakam. Dwight Yoakam, that's what it was.
So good. That sounds fucking so good.
I didn't listen to it. I did not listen.
Dwight
to it.
Yoakam's a fucking fantastic country artist. I love his voice. I love his delivery. Yeah. I just think his songs are boring.
Okay.
I do.
In the end, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
You know, songs are boring. Whatever.
You can respect somebody for a good voice and good delivery and stuff, but don't like their song. Like Elton John, right?
Oh, that's true, yeah. Great voice, yeah, but I don't care for his songs.
Yeah.
But his songs are catchy, though. They are catchy.
Some of them just take too fucking long.
True. But yeah, the death of Don Rich just absolutely destroyed him. And, you know, normally like with this kind of stuff, there would be a lot of like rumors like, oh, were they lovers, you know, gay lovers or whatever. But I never really read anything like that. I think they were just
two dudes, man, just two like good dudes,
like best friends, like soulmate best friends. Like that's what it was. And I think it's so tragic. It's so cool and so tragic too. It's like, I don't know.
It's sad, but it's also like inspirational, I guess, because you don't hear a lot of musicians say like, yeah, when that guy died, I feel like I died too. And I was done. Because
guys, especially men in the 50s and 60s and 70s and stuff, like they weren't nearly as vulnerable back then as they are now. So it's like for a guy to say, yeah, my best friend died, and to take it that hard, that really, it hits way harder than it would nowadays. Man. And it's just it was a totally different time. So, and for him to be that open about his death, which he wasn't for like a decade. Years. He refused to talk about about Don's death. But yeah, just really, really tragic stuff all around. And you know what makes it worse too is that like when Don Rich left the studio, because they were recording in Bakersfield, and Don left that evening to drive up to like Morro Bay, which is Northern California, and to go meet with his family because they were going to go vacation in Morro Bay. And and that's when it happened, and he left his whole family, and I guess like his wife, the widow, she ended up like creating a foundation for Don, and you know, up until I think she passed away, but her and her new husband, you know, they created a foundation and just like kept the whole the whole kind of thing alive, like his memory alive, and I thought that was really cool too. But
which is, I mean, I don't get why this shit is not more popular. Like, why is George Strait so fucking popular?
I know, right?
Like, that shit irritates me so much.
Even like even if you throw on like a random Buck Owens record from the 60s, you're still going to have a great time. Like, you really are. Like, there's nothing he did. I mean, I haven't listened to everything he's done because he's put out so much goddamn music, or he put out so much goddamn music. But I mean, everything I've heard, I've always really, really enjoyed. It's just straight up fun country music. It's not pretentious. It's not super poppy. It's just fun, man. Good stuff.
I think like
not
the more
country,
dude. The more I listen to country, and the more I see all these artists come through the store, and we just give them away to people. But like Glenn Campbell's another guy that I just like. Glenn Campbell, right? How many fucking records have you seen by Glenn Campbell? The dude died.
Yeah,
he was like 80, 90 years old. My God, he had some fucking bangers, dude. He had some fucking banger albums. Like, it's unbelievable. These old country artists that are completely lost in the sands of time. In 50 more years, they will be just name alone. And I feel like Buck Owens has already kind of transcended into just name alone, unless you know country music. If you don't know country music, Buck Owens only exists because his name is Buck. Not his real name, but because his name is Buck, like, that nickname lets him live on a little bit longer. But like, realistically, he should live on longer than Shania Twain, Garth Brooks. He should live on longer than anybody else in the country realm, besides Hank Williams I or Jimmy Rogers. Hank Williams.
I think he
Buck
belongs
forever.
I think Buck Owens belongs in like the top 5 country artists of all time, hands down, top 5. I mean, what he's done as an artist, and who he's influenced, and the whole scene, the whole country scene in general. I mean, the guy deserves to be in the top 5.
I agree.
I mean, him and Johnny Cash, hands down. Dolly Parton, I mean, top 5, without a doubt.
There's a lot of great country artists out there that have done a lot of great things. I think Waylon is up there.
Yeah, Waylon too. Yeah,
I think Willie's up there. I think even Garth Brooks has a place in the top spots of like 10, 15. I think he did things for country music when it was in its like death stage and revitalized things. But there's a lot of really, really great country artists that have done so much.
Yeah.
But like Buck Owens really mentioned.
Garth Brooks I feel like he only deserves a high spot because, I mean, even though
he's like the Bob Welch of country music. Just kept it alive.
He's just kept it alive, but he also made really good. I mean, I don't like pop country music, but he made the really only good pop country music songs that I actually like. You know, outside of some Shania Twain stuff, you know, I mean, Garth Brooks, he's the godfather of modern country, of pop country music. He truly is, and that's the only reason why he deserves to sit anywhere in the top 10 is because of that. But I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, earlier artists, like you said, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Cash, you know, Buck, Dolly Parton, you know, there would be no Garth Brooks.
No.
Even Dwight Yoakam. I mean, I think Dwight Yoakam predates Garth Brooks too.
Yeah. So,
I don't know, dude. We're not like super country heads, but
not really, but
I think we could hold our own. And what's cool too about Buck Owens is that he created the sound, which later became the Bakersfield sound, because he's not originally from Bakersfield. He moved from like Arizona up into Washington, up to like he spent most of his formative years in Arizona. I believe it was Mesa, right?
Yeah. Well, his family moved from the fucking during the Dust
Bowl,
Oklahoma, the Great Depression.
They migrated over here to the West Coast. We're in Mesa, Arizona, I believe, for several years in his formative years. He moved up and down, back and forth between Bakersfield and or L.A., Bakersfield, and Washington, eventually settling in Bakersfield. And then that's when he really kind of hit his stride, because he was doing a lot of session stuff in L.A., but he didn't want to live in L.A., so he was up in Bakersfield, which is like 2 hours north of L.A., 2-3 hours. And then, yeah, that's where he really developed the sound. He had his own studio up there. He would always play shows up there. And that's really where he developed that entire sound. He convinced Don Rich to move to Bakersfield because Don Rich was living in NorCal at the time, teaching music at was it Berkeley or Chico or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And then so he eventually convinced Don to move down to Bakersfield. I almost said Baco, like I'm actually from Bakersfield. And then just he developed that sound, that particular style, and it absolutely blew up. And then now, he's one of the most famous people to ever come out of that, or to popularize that city of Bakersfield outside of like corn. I mean, it's Buck Owens, as crazy as it is. I mean, those are the two biggest exports out of Bakersfield. And
well, it's just funny because, like, dude, nobody gives a fuck about Bakersfield. Bakersfield.
I mean, why should you? It's trash, man.
It's just like nobody gives a shit about fucking Bakersfield.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I've been through it a few times, but yeah, it's just it's just kind of a shitty city. It's not that great.
It is a shitty city. It fucking misses the 5 entirely. You can take the 5 all the way up to fucking Canada, and you miss Bakersfield entirely, and that's purposely because Bakersfield is like, fucking garbage.
Yeah, so like you take the 5 north, you veer off the 99 freeway, and then even after you veer off the 5, like it's another like hour drive on the 99 through Bakersfield, or maybe not an hour, maybe like 45 minutes into Bakersfield, and then you just go through there. And it's just like, I've done it just for fun because it's corn, because I like corn so much, but it's kind of a shitty town, man. It's
stupid.
I guess now it's like becoming nicer because more people are moving out there because it's way cheaper than living in LA County and shit in Ventura. But so yeah, I guess it's getting nicer, but I don't know. Who wants to live in Bakersfield?
It's fucking stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid city.
And but what it's cool about Buck Owens as well is that like he took pride in living in Bakersfield. He was a great investor as well. Like he bought a bunch of radio stations in Bakersfield and also like one in LA,
in Phoenix,
like country stations, or in Phoenix. Yeah, that's what it was. So like the guy was a fucking entrepreneur, and he's super fucking cool. And he would play like he ended up opening a bar in Bakersfield. I forgot, it's like not the Crystal Palace. It's called something like that. And he opened that up, and he would play every weekend, just local artists. And that was his thing. That's all he did for like the last 20, 25 years of his life. He just playing every weekend in his own bar that ended up costing him like $2 million to build.
Yeah.
Like it took like 3 years to build, like something outrageous like that. And I looked it up, and I mean, it's still open, and it'd be so cool to go there one day. It's like I checked like a few nights ago, and it was like, it would take like 3.5 hours to get there from Anaheim.
Like I was looking at just old buildings that are iconic to, I don't know, music and movies and pop culture in Phoenix, in Arizona, that are no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a bunch of like stuff that have been around for a while that no longer exist. And I think that's like this area's biggest fault. Like where I live in Phoenix and Arizona, that's our biggest fault, is we cannot keep things intact. And Waylon Jennings, like his first fucking show that he did was live at JD's. It was his local bar in like downtown Phoenix area. And like, why does that not still exist? Like, why is that not like an institution? You like did the fucking Viper Room, right? The Whiskey, all these iconic venues have been around for damn near 100 years now. There's so many venues, even like Anaheim at the Doll Hut. Like these things have been around for 50, 60 fucking years. And so,
but I mean, it's not fair comparing the music scene of LA and Orange County to the Phoenix area. It's just not fair.
It's not about comparing the music scene. It's about comparing like the passion of the people here to preserve what little scene there was. And that's what fucking irritates me. That's what irritates me is like live at JD's venue. And then I think that Rummel Buffet that we mentioned earlier, that was a Phoenix like buffet bar that Buck Owens had played before he moved to Bakersfield.
Oh, was it Arizona?
I thought it doesn't exist anymore. And I kept like looking to see where it was. I did a lot of Google searches, could not find out where it was. Like it's been that long, and it probably opened and closed that fast. And like also, like, what I didn't realize until this week was Buck was like 30 years old until he even started doing all of this stuff. He had a radio show when like his late teens and early 20s, and like that was a thing. And he played local bars and stuff, but he wasn't like a household institutional name until his early 30s to mid 30s.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a session musician. I mean, he's a self-taught player. He dropped out of high school. And yeah, he would come to LA and do session work, and then that's what like I said, that's what eventually made him move out to Bakersfield, because it was way closer to LA than Phoenix. Yeah, and he did session work for years. I don't know. I'm sure he played on a bunch of obscure shit that doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, I mean, yeah. When did he break out? Like 1961, 62? Yeah. Was that when Act Naturally came out?
63 was Act Naturally.
Was it? Okay. But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's a pretty long run of not having any success. I mean, he's breaking out when you're
34 years old.
Yeah.
Like his breakout hit was when he was 34 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
So like Tiger by the Tail was what, 65? So that he's like 30 fucking 6. He's our age.
Yeah.
He's already tired.
Can you imagine us going into a studio and singing, "Ah, God,
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be laughed out of the fucking studio.
Come on. Come on.
Oh man, he's fucking fantastic. And actually, a fun little side note too. So Jonathan Davis is from Korn, singer from Korn. His dad, I think his name was Rick Davis, used to play with Buck Owens all the time back in the day, because that's where Korn's from, obviously. So
keyboardist. He was keyboardist in Buck Owens' band for many, many years. Jonathan Davis grew up around Buck Owens because they would bring him to the shows when he was a kid and growing up and all that shit. And so when Jonathan Davis was more successful with Korn, he ended up, after Buck Owens had died, he ended up buying the studio from the Buck Owens estate and keeping everything intact, like not keeping the original soundboard, keeping all the aesthetics the same, not changing, not modernizing really anything, and keeping it his own personal studio free. I think I'm pretty sure he still has the studio, and he's had it for like 20 years now. He's recorded a bunch of Korn shit there, like Korn demos and stuff, and his solo record he's recorded there. He's recorded other bands there as well, and yeah, it's just like this kind of like auditorium, like it's like a studio part auditorium as well. And he's like saying like some crazy shit happens, like it's kind of haunted, like he's not sure if it's haunted, and just I don't know, it's just super cool how he tries to keep the whole Buck Owens name alive in Bakersfield, and really just in general. He brings up Buck Owens all the time in interviews as well, and I think that's super fucking rad. It is rad.
But yeah, so good on you, JD. Good on you.
Good on you, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get back to some of these songs.
Yeah.
All right. So Wham Bam, we briefly touched upon this one. Wrapping this one up, I mean, just Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. Just the lyrics right there. It's so stupid. And the amount of times he laughs in this song makes it even more comical.
Thank you, man. I'll be on my way. I mean, this is like their generation of hit it and quit it, right? That's just that's what's happening here. So good.
First thing is matrimony. Next thing is alimony.
So good. Just so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's it really exactly is, right? Yeah. Fucking disrespectful.
It's like a one night stand. It's about a one night stand. It's in the 1960s version of that.
It's like he's calling a bitch without actually calling her a bitch. Is what's happening right there.
A bitch is a bitch is a bitch is a bitch.
A bitch is a bitch is a bitch is a bitch.
God, that is stupid.
Lyrics, dude.
Yeah, those are something.
Those are lyrics. What's your right, what was your tubing? I don't even hit your tubing.
Oh my god, that was so stupid. We're gonna let the good times roll.
We're gonna let the good times roll.
We're gonna let the good times. It's the way so he pronounces the words too. Gonna let the
good time roll.
Yeah, it's almost like a glottal stop he's kind of doing. And I love it. And also, the Vandals, let the bad times roll.
Let the bad times roll.
I think this is it's so much fun. It's just so upbeat. It's a lot of fun to sing that chorus. It's like smack dab in the middle of the record. It kind of comes out of nowhere. You get like the honky tonk songs from the beginning, some slower jams, slower sad songs, and there's that guitar line that comes that guitar lead in the very beginning of the song. It just kind of
this is like the first time we actually hear a good lead intro on the record.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
This is a fucking catchy ass song, man. That driving bouncy bass line, the boom 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 boom, like that's what we want to hear. And the chorus part where it slows down, and it's just like him doing the "gonna let the good times roll," and then we get that boom boom boom, and then it goes back into the whole like fucking thing, the little small scale up.
Oh yeah.
This is one of only 2 songs on the album solely written by Buck.
Is it really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of
songs.
songs.
And did you notice
only 2.
How much he says just the word "gonna"? How many times he starts a line out with "gonna"?
That's what you got to do.
Gonna meet my baby by 9:45. Gonna let the good times roll. Gonna be at the station when the train rolls in. Gonna let the good times roll.
That's like a specific. I wrote a couple things down here based on like the rhyming schemes, but like that's a specific rhyming scheme that you do. Which every stanza, every line starts with the same exact word. I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just happenstance, but that's something, dude.
I would like to think of him as a poet.
I would like to also, because one of my favorite rhyming schemes, and I've talked about it before, is on this record. So
not on this song though.
No, not on this song.
No, I don't have too much to say about it because it's just a straight up fun song.
Yeah,
not
good.
rock and roll. I mean, what do you just honky tonk?
If it wasn't for those little scales, this is a rock and roll song. It really is like a Chuck Berry era, like Little Richard rock and roll song. If it wasn't for the doom 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 boom, and then the bass, like the boom 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 boom.
Yeah,
like this is a rock and roll song. Like you can hear Chuck Berry picking away at it. You really could.
I mean, if there was a lot more, like crunchier guitar, then But I mean, still, there's still a ton of slide, a lot of slide to accompany
realistically,
the guitar too.
Like what separates Chuck Berry from Buck Owens is Don Rich and then Chuck Berry's picking.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because Buck Owens could have been a rock and roll singer, and Chuck Berry could have been defined. Yeah, absolutely. And Chuck Berry could have been a fine country singer, but like what separates the two is Don Rich and his twangy style, his essentially surf rock vibe, just with no reverb, and then Chuck Berry's like picking. Dude, Chuck Berry's picking is fucking unmatched until the fucking 70s.
Yeah, no, you're right in that. Also, talking about another thing that contributes to that kind of hot sound is the Telecaster. I think it was like a 1952, what was it, 51 or 52 Telecaster that Don played on this record. He borrowed it from Buck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he borrowed it from Buck, and then eventually he had it. He got his own signature Telecaster, but no, that's what it is. That's that hot fucking sound, that 52 Telecaster.
That's like killer. Long and always been like my favorite fucking guitar of all time. And that's why I bought the bootleg version, the PV that I still own to this day that I play. Like Telecaster has just always been like the guitar that I want to play no matter what at all times. I love that
great
sound.
Guitars.
I just fucking love the sound.
Yeah. I noticed, I realized too this week that you don't hear a lot about guitars like pre like 1957. It's always like you get like a 58 reissue or 58 or 59 Les Paul or something like that. You never hear about like early 50s Fenders or anything. I don't think Gibson was around in the early 50s, but yeah, I never hear anything pre like 57.
Well, like,
right? Or am I just crazy?
Have you ever been to the Fender Museum in Fullerton?
Yeah, I went there once.
Yeah. But
I don't remember a lot of stuff. I'm just talking about like in general. I mean, obviously they existed, but
because it wasn't until like the 60s really. It wasn't until like the 60s for sure with Fender when like they really got like their hold on like their sound and things like that. But like the Jazzmaster was around like the late 50s, early 60s.
But see that once again, that's late 50s. I'm talking about like early 50s. You don't hear much about any like of the big name guitar. Well, really the only two big name guitars are Fender and Gibson. Maybe Gretsch, but even Gretsch, like it's like late 50s when people reference it, or 60s.
Because I think
same goes.
I don't think
for
Fender was
Fender
even a company until like 1950, which means they probably weren't a company that you would know until like late 50s.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe early 60s.
But also, there weren't like crazy iconic guitar players until Chuck Berry in 1954 or 55,
dude.
Right? Like truly iconic, legendary guitar players.
I mean, like realistically, when you
right?
talk about like greatest guitar players of all time, like Chuck Berry has to be like in
he's
the top
up there.
fucking 10, dude. Like, he's just
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, bro? Like, are you like your source material is this, and you come up with this? Are you fucking kidding me? Even like blues guys, like dude, Robert Johnson, Son House, these guys that we talk about, like in the Delta blues era, even like Muddy Waters coming up. But then Chuck Berry takes it and does that.
Yeah.
You took this and made that. What? How?
It's
what
pretty.
were you
It's pretty
thinking?
unreal. It's pretty crazy. I know.
Like, honestly, I swear, I still listen to like Chuck Berry songs, and I'm still fucking blown away by how amazing they are.
Yeah, what he did, what he was able to do so early on.
What were you thinking?
It's truly revolutionary.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, dude. You have no right to be that good. Honestly, you have no right to be that good. Fuck you. Fuck off.
All right, so that's my 2B. Let's move on here.
All right.
3 was Trouble in Me. What was your 3B?
No, my 3B is actually Streets of Laredo.
Okay. Yeah, Streets of Laredo is my 4B, so let's get into that.
Yeah, this is sung by the bass player Doyle from
Misfits. Is that what you're trying to say?
Doyle Rules. I was trying to think of the Happy Gilmore. Billy Madison. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Okay, I don't get the reference, but okay.
That's all right. I confused Billy Madison with Happy Gilmore, apparently. Yes, it's sung by bass player Doyle Hawley. No, I can't even say the fucking name. I sound like an idiot saying
Doyle Hawley.
Doyle Hawley.
Doyle.
But dude has one hell of a deep voice. But he also has a lot of range. He hits the super low end like easy. Like, it's just when he goes do do dum boom boom boom. That's fine.
It comes out of nowhere.
But he can also go as high as Buck, and even higher than Buck. He has a dynamic range that is higher than Buck Owens, as far as like what we can hear on this record. But the chorus here has like this slight verb on the vocals and this like super subtle slide guitar. This is one of my favorite parts on the fucking album. Like this right here, I love it so much.
Well, also like the guitar playing, it's a classical guitar, and they're not playing, or Don or Buck, I don't know which one's playing really the classical on this song, but yeah, you could hear the nylon strings, and yeah, they're not playing their normal kind of leads or anything like that. So it's such I can't even think right now. It's such an outlier of a song. Vocally, musically, and every which way. It's it's fucking awesome.
I love Buck Owens. I really do. But if you watch like Hee Haw performances with like Roy Clark and then Buck, and you watch Roy Clark play the fucking guitar, it's literally like watching like Yngwie Malmsteen play the guitar and then giving it to you and then you play, or like giving it to me and I play. Like that's the difference between like somebody who's really, really fucking good at what they do, and then somebody who's just kind of like just going along with the motions. But they're really good. Like Buck is a great songwriter, no doubt. But like, dude, so I think like whenever you hear on this album or any of the Buckaroos album where it's like, damn, that's a good guitar part, you should just automatically assume that it's not Buck Owens.
Okay, that's fair.
That's what I do.
So yeah, so Don's playing of that classical guitar is a real departure on this record, mixed with Doyle's lower register vocals. But really, when he drops down into that really, really low end, it's jarring. Like it really catches you off guard. Like, what the fuck is this? This is great. It's so different. It's so good.
And that's what it matches, like the aesthetic. It matches the aesthetic of the song. It gets real nasty, real somber, real sad. It gets real fast.
It does. I mean, the song is about getting in a shootout and then losing. Like who talks about losing in a shootout? It's always about being the winner, the best of the best, but never losing. And that's what it is. That's so exactly what it is.
Good. It's based off of like an old folk ballad called like The Unfortunate Rake, and that ballad has its own story to it, and much like old like folk ballads / spirituals, those early songs, they branch off like a tree, like a root, and then it grows up into be like 15 other songs. And then one of those branches eventually becomes the Streets of Laredo. And it's just like, it just tells the story of a dying cowboy telling his story to another cowboy. And like this version specifically, it seems to be about like one guy seeing another guy already dead for something he did, but then is lamenting that his time is coming because like this dude, does like I do the same shit as that guy that caused him to die. Like I'm going to die pretty soon too. And so when he hits those lower registers, it's kind of like that psyche, that mentality of the narrator saying like, yes, I'm going to die because I do the same fucking shit as that guy who's already been killed. And that's why it's nasty. That's why it's good stuff.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's really, really good.
So good.
Love it. All right, so Streets of Laredo.
What beat was this for you?
That was my 4B. So that's my 4B. Your 4B was We're Gonna Let the Good Times Roll. Let the bad times roll. Right?
Okay, let the good times roll.
All right, so what's your 5B then?
Do I have like 14 things highlighted red already?
Well, that's
One,
okay. So
2, 3, 4.
yeah, so we did my 3 and 4B, Trouble in Me, Streets of Laredo. What are your 3 and 4?
We're gonna let the good times roll my 4.
So what's your 5B?
I don't think I have.
Oh my god!
I don't think I have a 5B.
How do you do this? How do you?
I must have missed a 5B here. Because a lot of times when I'm doing this, like I'm drinking and I'm just like having a good time. Yeah, I don't have a 5B. How is that?
You got to set it up like I do. You got to set it up like I do.
I don't understand what you do.
I literally just have a list. I have a short list that just says bangers, and then they're just the song names are listed. That way I don't miss any of them. So that way when I see, okay, my 4B Streets of Laredo, I can just scroll down to Streets of Laredo and then read it. That way I'm not missing out on any B's.
That's stupid. I don't like that.
Okay. Well, it works.
That's,
it clearly
I don't
works
like
for me
because
and
it's different and I don't like it. That's why. My next highest B would I mean, like, I'm getting an end game here.
Yeah, I really, there's one more song I want to talk about.
Which one?
It's a slow song. Yeah, Let the Sad Times Roll On.
Let the sad times roll on.
It's a slower jam, very sad, very very melancholy. And
dude,
I mean,
that lead steel guitar though, man. That is fucking.
Oh, yeah.
That's surf music gone country, straight
and it's
up.
so loud. It's so loud that slide guitar. Fucking love it.
It's drippy, it's twangy, it's sad. That's Tom Brumley who sang or who had said that Buck was difficult to work with, right? That whole like steel guitar thing. That's Tom Brumley that I mentioned earlier when I did my Sister's Tom along. He had said that Buck was difficult to work with. I don't know if you read the whole thing about Tom and Buck, their relationship.
I did not.
But he apparently Ray Charles had reached out to Tom to ask if he wanted to play steel guitar on Ray Charles's album, and Buck intercepted the phone call and said, "Nah, he's not interested." Even though like they had no contract together, they had no like non-compete clause or nothing like that. But this was the only time that I kind of was like, "Oh, Buck kind of a fucking asshole." According to Tom Brumley, who's from Missouri, this guy was like 6 feet tall. Like 6'2" or some shit like that. And apparently because of the shitty touring schedule, he dropped down to like 130 pounds.
Oh shit.
Because of how like brutal Buck's like touring schedule was. And he developed ulcers that needed like surgery to the fix. And I guess Buck was kind of an asshole to him. So there's
that's
that.
like, I feel like that's the only account of Buck being an asshole to somebody. Like he did have 4 different wives over his lifetime and all that, but even still, like I've never really read anything negative about Buck Owens.
And I don't think it's negative in the sense that Buck's a douchebag. I think that Buck just expected a lot of his touring bandmates. They're called the fucking Buckaroos, right? Like, come on, like what do you get? What do you expect? Not that I'm making excuses for him or anything, but like the touring schedule of a musician making a living is got to be tough. And like the whole like multiple wives thing, like it's easy to quarterback it and think like, oh, you fucking can't just find a wife, but like how probably it's probably so hard for these guys to like find like a mate, right?
I guess yeah. In the 50s through 70s, with like the traditional housewife, white picket fence Americana nuclear family, having somebody like Buck Owens in the music industry. That could be very difficult on a woman who's not expecting it, who relies on her husband at that point. As kind of fucked up as it is, she's relying on her husband, and I guess it's
but it's good. It's a good song.
It is good.
It's my 6B.
So what I really like about this song is the stop and go of the music and really the drums, because it's really like it kind of like trudges along that kind of like got like that very, very slow kind of trotting gallop of a horse kind of percussive sound, and then the latter part of, I guess it's the verse or maybe the chorus, I don't know, where he says, "So pour the red wine," and then it stops.
The red wine, stop.
Play the jukebox,
stop. And let the sad times roll on.
Oh my God, dude. That writing right there is so simple, but so fucking perfect. I think this song is just absolutely incredible and deserves way more credit.
Every piece of shit fucking garbage pop country artists in the 80s, all you Travis Tritts, all your fucking Randy Jacksons and Alan Jacksons and Michael Jacksons.
Yes, Randy Jackson.
All race car driver Randy Jacksons, all the Jacksons, every shitty fucking 80s and 90s like pop country artists, when they talk about like drinking whiskey and stuff, it's like, dude, he literally just said, pour the red wine.
That was a good.
pour the red wine. Imagine if you had the accent. Pour the red wine, play the jukebox, and let the sad times roll on. That's all you need. It just stops. You're right. It just stops. That make the song so effective. I only have one more piece of a song I want to get through, and then I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, one more song. We'll wrap it up. So what's the other song?
You see, you're still laughing. You're fucked
I know.
up,
I can't help it. It was.
I know. That's you're fucked up.
I know. Continue.
That's
joke.
mean. That's rude. That's
okay.
That's other.
What do you want to talk about? The band keeps playing on.
There's probably other words that describe that. No, falling for you. I'm falling for you. But
yeah, the Weezer song.
This is
that's my 7B.
So this is my 9B. But this is my favorite type of rhyming scheme. What did you say?
I said butts are for pooping, but continue.
This is my favorite type of rhyming scheme. I think it's called the sustain rhyming scheme. It's the AA, B, CC, B. And I love this style so much because it's so cool. Because it has, so the chorus goes, oh, the bells start ringing and the birds start singing and the clock on the corner struck 2. Thunder started crashing and the lightning started flashing.
Wait, what song?
And I knew it was falling for you. No, baby, falling for you.
Sorry.
You gotta keep up there, kid. Like that.
Yeah.
I like this rhyming scheme. I like it because it's fast, it's quick, it's very hip hop inspired. This is what hip hoppers do all the fucking time, and I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to bring that one out before I call it a day.
Before you out. Oh man.
Cannot start doing that on the pod because it's super fucking annoying.
I know it is so annoying, but I do it so much in real life now too.
You should always use it in real life.
Oh my God. And I've been doing it so much, but not one person has picked up on it. Tammy hasn't picked up on it.
That's even more annoying that nobody fucking picks up on it. It makes it
I even do
worthless.
the hand thing too. I do the hand thing too. You kind of push your hand out.
Yeah.
Like do the hang loose sign. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, nobody knows what the fuck we're talking about, but that's fine.
Sure.
I just look up manic Hispanic. And other things. But anyway, so let's wrap it up. Let's give our final thoughts. Let's rate this record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got? Go.
This is an album that is it's not just like forgotten about, because maybe it is forgotten about, because I said earlier that the old people that come into my store like know what this is and know what it's about and know everything about Buck Owens and Roy Clark and Hee Haw and stuff like that. So it is definitely a forgotten album, and it's sad because like the torch is not being passed from what I see Buck Owens as to, and like even like Taylor Swift, which I don't like even saying her name on our podcast because I hate her more and more every single fucking week. I don't.
We gotta do her on the pod again sometime though. Gotta do it.
I get so irritated with her and all of her bullshit and her bullshit fans. But Buck Owens, man, like this is country music that is not just country music. This is there's rock and roll here. There's like contemporary, there's surf music, there's precursors to other like stuff. There's a lot of things going on here. And it's just like good songwriting. And there's a reason why like the Beatles wanted to write a song with Buck Owens. There's a reason why like Ringo like helped or re-recorded Act Naturally with Buck Owens because they loved him and what he did. They loved like these simple, catchy ass songs.
And speaking of that, they in the late '80s they performed the song together.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool too. Ringo and Buck Owens. And
that wasn't like a Buck Owens thing loving the Beatles. That was like a Ringo thing loving Buck Owens.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is just like what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, you can trace back like your favorite artists because we're in our mid 30s. You can trace back your favorite artists. Like, oh, I grew up listening to this. Who grew up listening to the Beatles? But like, who did the Beatles listen to? The Beatles listened to fucking Buck Owens.
Like, that's amongst other bands. And
that's where they got a lot of their inspiration came from. Buck Owens.
Chuck Berry too. I mean, a lot of Chuck Berry as well. I would say Chuck Berry was a bigger influence than Buck Owens. Come on.
But Chuck Berry was a big influence because he was doing like, oh, I want to do that sound. But Buck Owens was like, I want to do that sound, but I want to do it like he does it. And like when I do it, he does it. Yeah. That's Buck Owens. And it's just it's a national travesty that Buck Owens is not talked about in any way, shape, or form. And that his records are worth $3, whereas your boy Taylor Swift over here is worth $100. We sold one for $250.
But I also think it's like I think it's because there was never like I kind of want to compare him to Johnny Cash because Johnny Cash had this huge slump for like 20 years. And it wasn't until he was kind of like I hate to say it because you also hate this producer, but Rick Rubin kind of rediscovered Johnny Cash. He found out he heard like through the grapevine that Johnny Cash had been playing at like a local like bar for the last 15 years, while people were eating dinner. It was just like he was just there. People weren't there to see Johnny Cash. They were there to eat dinner. And he went to this restaurant to go meet up with Johnny Cash just like randomly, and then he kind of like reinvigorated his whole career in the late 90s, early 2000s before he died. And I feel like
that's stupid though.
But I also feel like Buck Owens didn't have that person because like Johnny Cash was obviously he was amazing in the 50s.
He didn't need a reinvigoration of his career though. He had a successful career since the late 50s all the way through the fucking 90s. Johnny Cash was doing. Yeah, Johnny Cash was doing 1-2. What are you talking about? He was doing 1-2 albums a year until the fucking early 90s.
But
it wasn't Rick Rubin that reinvigorated his career.
No, but he really did.
The last 6 albums that he did. Yeah, the last 6 albums that he did.
From
like
the
what the fuck are you talking about?
From like the early 80s to like the mid to late 90s, Johnny Cash was down and out. He really was down and out.
Down and out. He had released albums in the mid 50s.
Yeah.
So for 30 years, he had a successful career in the last. What?
Yeah,
no.
And then he was down and out. He was
what
down and out for a while.
Down and out. Arguably the most like iconic country artist of all time was down and out. Get the fuck out of here.
He was though.
Act like Rick Rubin reinvigorated Johnny Cash's career, bitch.
He did.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Get off Rick Rubin's dick.
You can't deny
over here.
But you can't.
Johnny Cash reinvigorated Rick Rubin's career.
So you won't even let me
full
finish.
of shit right here. You're full of shit. You said Rick Rubin reinvigorated Johnny Cash's career.
He did.
Oh my
considering
God,
how popular those records were.
Knucklehead.
Considering how popular those Rick Rubin records were.
They're not that popular, bro. What are you talking about?
Though.
They are not that popular. They're not.
Oh my God.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. I'm telling you.
Anyway,
I'm telling you I just work at a record store. I'm telling you they're not. I can't even fucking believe that you said like Rick Rubin reinvigorated Johnny Cash's
in
career.
the late 90s. He did. Yes. I stand by
God.
it. And I stand by it. So anyway,
Johnny Cash released one album in the late 90s.
Okay, late 90s, early 2000s, whatever.
So like Johnny Cash
continue
released,
your Buck Owens.
so Johnny Cash released 40 albums up until Rick Rubin got him, and Rick Rubin released 4.
Yeah, and those are wildly successful and really kind of, like I said, reinvigorated his career, like introduced a lot of his old music to more modern audiences.
No, didn't need
Absolutely
it. Didn't fucking need
Especially
it.
with the Nine Inch Nails cover.
You are stupid if you
especially
think
that Nine Inch Nails cover.
Fuck out of here.
I'm not saying the modern songs are better. I'm not saying the modern songs are better.
Ever fucking said in the podcast, like legit, as if Johnny Cash needed Rick Rubin. Get the fuck out of here. Johnny Cash is a legend, not a hero, a legend. You watch The Sandlot. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die. Johnny Cash is a legend. Johnny Cash did not need Rick Rubin. It was nice, that little boost of confidence towards the end of his life before he died. Yeah, that was great. But the fuck out of here. Like, Johnny Cash needed Rick Rubin. Please. I
didn't say he needed him.
Please.
But it certainly helped his career. That's for sure, dude. Well, okay, let's move on.
Good Lord. Talk about trigger right there. That was stupid what you said. That was fucking dumb.
Round out your Buck Owens because you're being fussy. It's late. I know. It's late. You're fussy.
I've noticed, like,
round it out.
The longer we do the pod and the later it gets, the dumber your shit says. The dumber your shit that comes out of your mouth. The dumber your shit says. Like, your shit talks and the dumber it says. Like,
yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
all
Mr.
right.
Hanky, like the shit, yeah. God,
I get it. It's not a great joke at all, but continue the Buck Owens roundup.
Johnny Cash also was not a great joke.
Okay, once again, the Buck Owens Rucker wrap up and
so
rate the record.
I can say stupid things, but when you say Rucker out, that's
dude.
Okay. That's all right though.
Here we go.
No, go. Okay, I'm ready to go. No, I'm done. I think this is a perfect album. This is one of the greatest country albums of all time. Buck Owens is a national treasure. That should be.
Don't do that, please. That's on the no-no list.
National treasure?
Yes.
Why?
That's on the no-no list. Yes, it is.
National treasure.
Yeah, calling somebody a national treasure is on the no-no list.
But what if they are a national treasure?
No, it's on the no-no list.
That's stupid.
No,
I don't think that's on the no-no list.
It's on the no-no list. Do not say that on the podcast.
Let me see. Hold on there.
Okay. Anyway, what are you gonna rate the record?
I gotta really know if National Treasure's on the no. I don't think it is because it shouldn't be on the list, and it shouldn't be on the list because some things are a national treasure. Some things that help define not just like
it's okay.
Our subset of the world, but music in general. That's silly.
It's equivalent to protect this man at all costs,
no,
or
it's not.
I will die
not
on
at all.
Hill. Yes,
not at all in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. A national treasure is something that like helps define not just like our nation, our country, our subsect of America, Southern California, but also music in general. What do you mean? Oh my God! What if I had said like Chuck Berry's a national treasure? Like, oh, fucking don't say that. What are you talking about?
It's not what it actually means, but just the phrase itself is so aggravating. But continue.
So you're just mad because some fucking dumb white girl said it on Instagram. Get the fuck off your high horse with your Rick Rubin and shit, dude. Buck Owens is a national
Chuck
treasure.
Berry, yes.
Chuck Berry's a national treasure. Ray Charles. Fucking the list goes on forever. Buck Owens is a national treasure. He should be cherished. He should be put into stone somewhere. There should be like a cemetery, like the Arlen Cemetery, or not Arlen, because it's a fictitious city in King of the Hill, the Arlington Cemetery.
Arlington, yeah.
But there should be one for Virginia, like musicians, where it's just headstones, and they just list like you know what I mean, like Buck Owens, fucking. I like Jim Morrison, but you don't. But Jim Morrison and like all these other cool people because they are so impactful to music history that they belong in there. And yeah, Buck Owens belongs there.
Yeah.
Well. You're kind of a little cuck. You're kind of a little bitch tonight. But yeah, this is a perfect record. This is perfect 3 out of 3. There's nothing wrong with this record. It is better than you think it is. Like you personally, Tyler, Rebecca.
Me personally, yeah.
This is better than you think it is. If I could give it a higher than a 3, I would. So I will. But it's a 3.2.
Okay. 3.2. Come on. Now we're getting crazy. 3 is the max here.
This is unbelievably good. This is unbelievably
You've never
good.
given a Blink record or a Weezer record more than a 3. So get out of here.
Because you're
getting too wild.
I would give Pinkerton like a 3.5.
But you haven't. So
We haven't done Pikachu in so long.
Well,
I don't think we did Pikachu in the new format. That's right.
yes, we have. Yes, we. Oh, we definitely did. We definitely did.
We did it twice.
Anyway, all right. So yeah, you gave it a 3 out of 3, a perfect 3 out of 3. This record, I mean, it's so influential, and it's so unfortunate that more people haven't heard of Buck Owens or this record or just anything in this style. It's truly a shame, especially people who like country music. It's like, come on, dude, do a little bit of research, find out kind of where this came from, not just your Johnny Cash. Like, okay, everybody knows Johnny Cash. Or Rick Rubin, obviously. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, obviously Rick Rubin. But no, seriously, like, do your research. Buck Owens inspired so much. Like you said, the Beatles, every country artist we've known since. And the style, the sound, the hot sound, Bakersfield sound is just, it's something really, really, really cool. That's 3 reallys. Yeah, I don't know. Just give this a perfect 3 out of 3. It really is truly a perfect fucking record.
3 reallys out of 3.
3 reallys out of 3.
That's
stupid.
That's
stupid.
Good.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's all I got for Buck Owens and I've got a tiger by the tail. And you have anything else?
Got a tiger by the tail. That's good.
All right. Cool. So we got some real heavy hitters the next 5 weeks. Just heavy hitter after heavy hitter. It's gonna
heavy
be
hitters.
Good time.
Not always good, but they're heavy hitters.
That's very, very true. I think people are going to be entertained, to say the least. Skip, start guessing now. But that's it. That's all.